because very obviously she needs to train something. You know what she should do? She should do what Sam Briggs did, and actually that won't work because I don't think Westside is any longer a gym.
In 2013,
Samuel Kwon gets his first career event win at 20 years old here.
when the Earth's rotation came to a halt, the world called on the one man who could make a difference. When it happened again, the world called on him once more, and no one saw it coming 3 more times. Now, the one man who made a difference 5 times before is about to make a difference again. Only this time, it's different.
Who left the fridge open?
Tug Speedman. Scorcher 6. Global Meltdown.
Here we go again. Again.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. And there was a big part of me that wanted to just leave it the way it was. I didn't want to do any talking about any of that, and I wanted to be speculations running wild about what that could have meant. But I'm going to give you a little bit of the insight about where that entire thing came from. Number one, that entire thing is from Tropic Thunder. If you haven't seen it, that is a hilarious freaking movie. And it's just super freaking perfect with the points that I'm trying to draw, because a lot of you guys probably, if you watch that a couple times through, can try to pull out the ideas that I was throwing at you. What we know is that a handful of people have left comp train, and there are a lot of people in the CrossFit space, the elite level athletes, trying to figure out where they're going to be going. And I think that there's going to be a huge influx into the HWPO camp. The other day, I believe Matt O'Keefe put up something saying that there were big things in the work for 2023, and I don't think that those are the types of things that you say without having something behind them, especially if you're someone like Matt O'Keefe. Like, if I say that I'm going to do something huge, don't think twice about it, because what the fuck have I ever done? But when Matt O'Keefe does things, he puts on things like Wadapalooza, and everything that he does usually leads to something freaking huge. He's not just going to say something like that on Instagram without having something to come from it. And I think that the something to come from it is going to be like, hey, we're bringing on a whole bunch of people, and who better to bring on than a handful of the athletes that used to work with one of their newest coaches, Harry Palley. And I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. I don't think it's Paulie, but I think it's Harry Palley. Harry Palley is the coach who worked with Sam Quant, and you'll remember that that was one of the first individuals to have left CompTrain. And you know what happened when Sam Quant left CompTrain? So did Harry Palley. They just kind of worked with one another. And then there was a point in time in which Harry Palley joins on to the Hard Work Pays Off crew. So it was Mat Fraser, who's working with the Mal O'Briens, who's working with the Jason Hoppers. But then you got Jake Marconi, who's kind of like the assistant head coach. Now you see Harry Palley, who I assume is going to be taking a role similar to that of the Jake Marconi. So it's Mat Fraser, who's the head honcho over at HWPO. Duh, he's the dude. Then you've got Harry Palley and you've got Jake Marconi. And all of a sudden you're starting to see that there's a little bit of an empire trying to be built. In the CompTrain Hasta La Vista Baby video that I put up, you may have seen the point where I pointed to Ben Bergeron saying he wanted to create some sort of an athlete compound. And then I said that Rich Froding and Mayhem had the beginnings of what looked like Ben Bergeron's intentions were with that athlete compound. They have a site for all of the athletes to be working out. And I think that maybe another thing that O'Keefe is trying to bring up is that while Fraser's garage is a great place, I think that's his garage. It's on his property, right? I don't know shit about fuck, but it's Fraser's something. It's a location where he trains the likes of the Hoppers and the Mal O'Briens, and then the people like Justin Medeiros when they come in with Adam Knifer, his coach. But maybe there's going to be an athlete compound to house the athletes of possibly their newest coach and people who like to work with him as they're leaving the place where they all used to be under the same house of this coach. It used to be Bergeron and then Harry Palley. And with Harry Palley, there was the Amanda Barnharts and there were Sam Quants. And then you also saw that there was the Chandler Smiths and the Katrin David's daughter. So if Katrin stays over in Iceland, she'll probably continue to work with Yami, right? But if you look at things the way that I do, it doesn't seem like Annie really liked the team thing. I don't know her. I haven't heard anything. Annie Thor's daughter, I think she's going to go individual again. I don't think she wants to do the team thing. If she does do the team thing, maybe her and Katrin do that, go down that route. I see Annie going individual. I also see Katrin, for some reason or another, coming back to the United States, and then what's she gonna do? I think she goes and she joins up with her fit friends over at HWPO HWPO, and I also think that Amanda Barnhart goes and joins with what seems to be the good part of comp train, that being Harry Palley, and also joins the new super training facility that is going to be the HWPO. Matt O'Keefe, Mat Fraser, Mal O'Brien, Jason Hopper, everyone's getting better. Mal O'Brien finishes second at the CrossFit Games. Jason Hopper cuts his placings in half. He goes from like, what, 15th to 8th? And why is this not something that you would want to be part of, right? So from the guy who likes to talk shit about everything, me, and only say bad things, I've only heard good things coming out of the HWPO camp. And from the things that I see from Harry Palley, this is that whole thing, it's like a freaking hype video. Big fan of Harry Palley because all I've ever seen and heard is that he works with the likes of the Sam Quant as close as he does. He doesn't like posting to Instagram, but what you see is you see his athlete do really fucking well. And then when his athlete does really fucking well, he posts a whole bunch of pictures of his athlete. And I would believe that maybe Fraser would like to bring him on to the coaching team, because when he was over at CompTrain for that brief time, while he may have had a negative experience with Ben Bergeron, he apparently had a positive experience with Harry Palley. Harry Palley. With Harry. You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
And as I've said before, all I do is I look at things on the internet and then I try to connect the dots for a whole bunch of you guys, and I'm trying to do this with a little bit of foresight. Nothing I've seen or heard has pointed to these things, but if you were to ask me, and if you were to say, hey, where is everybody going to be going? They're going to be going to HWPO. I threw in the Chandler Smith thing at the end. I think that it would be in his best interest to, as soon as possible, go over to a camp like that. I've also mentioned how it would be cool if he went to Training Think Tank, because I know he's buddies with Noah Olson, and I think that Max Alhaj and team are about as smart as you're gonna find. You see what happened with Alexis Raptis this year. Her and her coach Adam Rogers, a Training Think Tank coach, did really big good things this year. And then you also think of the Haley Adams. Is she leaving CrossFit Mayhem? Has she confirmed that? I don't know. People in a comment section said somewhere that they saw something, and that's what I can say.
That's what I can be. No, you can't.
I can say someone saw something somewhere because I'm real media, right? I can say whatever I want.
I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be.
If I were Haley, I would go and join up with one of those two camps. That is, if she wants to leave Mayhem. Do I think she should leave Mayhem? I think that if you kind of see yourself at one spot for a long time, it would be worth looking into going somewhere else. That is, if you can't change what it is you're doing there. Because very obviously she needs to train something. You know what she should do? She should do what Sam Briggs did. And actually that won't work because I don't think Westside is any longer a gym now that Louis Simmons is no longer with us.
When I die, Westside Barbell will die. There's no one can take the club over. They don't have the attitude that I've got. And so that's just, when I died, the club will die.
R.I.P. Louis Simmons. But Sam Briggs at one point went to Westside. He had a bunch of us freaking CrossFitters over into his gym. Like, I remember Sam Briggs, there was a video of her over at Westside at one point when she was trying to get stronger. Right around the time where she had won the games and then realized strength was a weakness. So what do? You go to the strongest freaking dude on the planet and all of the strongest freaking people and you hang out with Louis Simmons. And this just wasn't Sam Briggs. The strongest people on the planet realized that the benefit to work out with Louis was just unsurmountable. There's nobody else who was going to have as big of a benefit to work with as it was with Louis Simmons. And she did the conjugate method because Sam Briggs' biggest fallback was the fact that she wasn't strong enough. And that's what Haley Adams should be doing. So no matter where she goes, and this is like the HWPO and the Training Think Tank in my head, but this entire thing is about the Harry Palley experience. And if I were to be a betting man, I would put my money on Amanda Barnhart going there. And if Katrin Davidsdottir comes back to the States, she's going to be going there. And I think that they're also probably creating something very cool. Thank you, Matt O'Keefe, for putting up that post so that people like me can speculate in my garage about the cool things that you guys are doing. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. Where will people end up going? Namely, the Amanda Barnharts, the Haley Adams, the Katrin Davidsdotters, the Chandler Smiths, and maybe anybody else that I may not have mentioned. One thing's for sure, Mal O'Brien's not going anywhere, and why should she? She's probably going to end up winning the CrossFit Games next year. Throw your thoughts in the comments section. Andrew Hiller, out.